If there's anything the world has in common with the film Another Round, it's scraping by through a pandemic in between bouts of heavy drinking. Mads Mikkelsen and three other guys shine as four Copenhagen teachers who, in order to improve their sad, pathetic lives, decide to maintain a constant state of drunkenness throughout the day. Or as Wisconsin calls it, a 9 to 5. An American remake of the film is reportedly on the way, which is set to be directed by Chris Rock? Hey, Chris, keep my Danish drinking buddy dramedy out of your goddarn hands! Yes, hello. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of today's review of Assorted Cinema, otherwise known as TheTRACcast. I'm 1/4 of the buck, Trevor.
I'm Ryan.
Christian, hello.
Yes, that's right. Today's movie is Another Round. This movie came out in 2020, starring Mads Mikkelsen. It's a foreign film for us people in the United States. I had the pleasure of checking out this movie, and I was the one to bring it to the table because I wanted my friends to watch it. And honestly, I just really had a hankering to rewatch this movie. I caught it when it went on video on demand shortly after its theater run, which I think it had a very, very brief theater run coming out in 2020. And yeah, I just felt like watching a good movie. And that's kind of what led me to choosing it for this podcast.
Good little flick. Good little time there. I did sell some stuff at Half Price Books today.
Nice. What'd you sell?
Just some like manga that I don't care about having anymore. And then with the money that I got from it, I saw that they had a copy of Tokyo Godfathers on Blu-ray that I then bought.
Nice.
Because I was like,
that's cool. Did you get anything else, or did you only sell? Or
no, just that. I only deal in apps.
Did you give them your name and they were like, or, no, I guess they go like, number 82.
No, actually, I walked right by the desk as the lady was done putting a price on all my priceless memorabilia over the years, and said, "Your offer's ready."
They really buy like anything?
I think it's mostly books, toys,
just books, toys. They've also bought movies,
toys,
right?
board games, movies.
They've bought. I've sold vinyl there that I didn't want anymore.
Okay, they have like vintage pornography.
When my dad came to visit for my graduation, he like asked if I wanted the stack of 70s Playboys because this guy was getting rid of it. And I was like, well, if he's just getting rid of it, then yeah. He like came down and he like gave it to me. But then he was like, what are you going to do with those? And he like looked at me like I was going to do something with them. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not going to do anything with these things. Like,
I have a PSP. I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't need these.
3DS, dude. 3DS.
But like, I just like the concept of he's like, oh, here, you can take them. What are you gonna do with them, though?
That was the weird thing. That was the weird thing too, because he asked if I wanted them, and I said yes. And then he just came and gave them to me, and then he was like, "But what are you gonna do with them?" And I was like,
hold on."
Yeah, but again, he was looking at me like I was gonna do something.
What else but jork your peanuts, dude?
You're not gonna jork your pingus, are you?
I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare.
Dad, I would never.
Fun fact: my girlfriend's uncle has met Mads Mikkelsen.
That's
Really?
crazy.
Yeah.
In what context was this?
I was in Denmark somewhere, right, Trevor?
You're funny. You're funny. What is there to say about Another Round? I mean, it's a great dramedy. It's a dramedy, number one.
It feels a little more. I mean, like there's funny parts, but it definitely feels more like a drama than a dramedy. But I know that's what it is, but like it's definitely more dramatic to me.
A lot of that I just chalked up to the foreign filmmaking, but I could be completely mistaken. Because sometimes, like, a lot of the times that they, like, film things and do things, it like, always just has, like, an alienating sort of feeling to it sometimes. Not just in the language, like, I mean in the cinematography. Like, a lot of the techniques they use.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Like, then again, like, those are also techniques that are used in a lot of drama and, you know, used to evoke a lot of feeling. So maybe I'm just trying to defend it because I think the movie, yeah, I guess it has funny parts, but
Well, it's almost like it starts off kind of like as like a comedy, and then it becomes like more like a serious drama as it goes on, and that kind of matches like the kind of like opinions on alcohol, like as it goes on, like oh this is so fun, blah blah blah, and then it's like no, this is debilitating and it's like horrible.
I guess we should mention that, like, if anyone is in recovery or is like, uncomfortable about talking about, themes of alcoholism, or, even like, alcoholism as like a self-harm, maybe we, put like a slight, just like warning on that. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but I just want to let people know that this is a movie that definitely touches on alcoholism. And if like that's a sensitive subject, then maybe don't listen in on this one. But do, perhaps look up a synopsis and check out the movie because it's really, really awesome. It's a good movie. No, but like I said, I just kind of had a hankering to watch this movie. Like I wasn't like, there was nothing that like I could think of that like would bring me to a reason why. I just was like, I kind of want to rewatch it and remember it being good enough. And it sounded like you guys enjoyed it.
No, it was really good. I think it was better on a second watch because
I totally agree.
For the listeners at home,
yeah,
we watched this all together, and then we came back a week after to record our review of Assorted Cinema about it.
Yeah, we like to be transparent with our audience and just let them know how the sausage is made.
Because we're that's just what we're about. That's
you
what we're
get a certified TRACcast seal from us.
This is a real kind of open concept kitchen kind of situation we have with you.
Hands.
But,
Hands.
Well, I need hands.
Corner.
Okay. But no, so we watched it all together, and then I don't know when you guys watched it a second time, or if you did.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was watching it through your window, Christian.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that creepy silhouette was that I keep saying in my peripheral. But no, yeah, like I watched it a second time, and I think I was able to like once I kind of got like I know what's going to happen, and I know the characters and all that. Like I could kind of focus on a lot more of the themes and some of the symbolism and like stuff that I wasn't noticing on a first watch, and I think it really enhanced it. I think.
See, I think it's been so long for me where like rewatching this a second time, it felt like watching it the first time, if that makes sense. Like a lot of the plot details I didn't like have. Going into it and remember because I've watched so many movies.
There's just too many out there.
Oh, there's just too many. 2023 was a fantastic year. But no, seriously, like I just kind of forgot some of the plot elements and stuff like that. So I'm really interested to hear what you guys got to say about like why it was more interesting on the second watch having it in tandem. I don't think I noticed anything too different, so that's kind of why I'm curious about that.
Ryan, Aref, what were your thoughts watching it? And then seeing it again or anything like that?
It's better on a second watch. You obviously know what is happening, and then you do get to watch specific characters' mannerisms that you may not have been paying attention to and pick up things they either said or things that happen, and we'll probably get into that. And I think Tommy is a character that is that.
I was going to add on to that and essentially just agree. For me, at least, it's really difficult for me to watch movies with subtitles unless it's like dead quiet. Because if you guys didn't know, I'm actually illiterate. I can't read. No, I'm just kidding. It's just I have issues focusing.
No, I'm kidding.
I have issues focusing.
Fair.
So watching the movie on its own is able to get a little bit more from it. Not too much more, but just to reiterate what Ryan said, you're able to see nervousness and tics and stuff like that in the characters that you're upon a second watch that I wasn't able to get the first time. You kind of have like a general scope viewing of it when you see it the first time, and then once you see it the second time, knowing where the movie's going, you're able to like kind of like zoom in and see how the alcohol is changing the characters and the attributes that the characters are trying to hide, which was cool. It was cool to see that level of acting. It was really cool to see that level of acting.
Directing.
And directing for a matter, yeah. Overall, it was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. And I actually do think I enjoyed it more the second time. Could be that I just wasn't as frustrated trying to read, but overall, it was better.
Well, Christian, with that, why don't we dive on into another round of our podcast?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And take us into what happens in the movie.
Oh my god. I'd be delighted. I'd be absolutely freaking delighted to do that. So yeah, no, the movie cold opens with this, like, it's like a drinking game that these
Students.
Denmark youth.
I'm so sorry.
These are the graduates.
Oh my god, these Denmark youth are doing, and I didn't write down all the rules or whatever, but it was like they have to like carry a case of beer, and they have to like
They have to
race
like
each other around a lake, and and they
as they
drink
go,
it
every quarter.
It's like those Nordic fucking traditions, like that. What is it? What is it that the? There's another one where they like jump in ice, frozen naked, and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely feels like kind of a very like kind of cultural like drinking game or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an equivalent in our culture, but
Just here, buddy.
it cold opens with that, and I think that's kind of an interesting way to cold open it too, because I think that kind of later ties into a lot of the themes of like youth and like aging in relation to alcohol.
Definitely.
And how, the respective kind of generations use it and, abuse it, or, and all that. And we can get into that. Yeah, what you use it for. And we can get into that later. But so then it cuts from that to, I believe, like a meeting of all these teachers. And they're like, it's like their daily meeting with the principal or whatever. And they're talking about how, there's, they're got to be careful of the drinking with the students, and we notice they're drinking a lot more, and we just got to be on top of them and all that. And that's where we meet our main protagonist.
Drum roll, please.
We have Martin, played by Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh my gosh,
fantastic in this movie. All the people
if Mads Mikkelsen is in a movie, you're in for a good time.
100%. And as we get into the main people here, I want to apologize for the joke I wrote in the intro where I said Mads Mikkelsen and 3 other guys, as if to reduce their roles at all.
It's a gag. It's a gag.
It's a gag. No, because the other 3 guys in this movie are great. They're fantastic.
They're fantastic acting across the
everyone in this movie is great. But we have,
their chemistry is really good too.
Martin is a history teacher. Tommy is he's a PE teacher. Then there's Nikolai, who is psychology.
Yep, he's psychology.
And then there's Peter, who is music.
And they're the characters that we're gonna be going through the movie with. They're the dudes who are going to take us through the journey that is another round. And they all each individually, like they all have a similar problem, which we're about to get into, but they all individually also have their own problems that, lead them to the problem that they all share. And the movie gives you a little peek into, each one of them, to differing degrees, which is exciting.
And I don't know, I didn't really like pick up on it at first, and I mean maybe this kind of ties into other stuff that maybe I'm not seeing as much, but I do think there is something there in the fact that they all focus on kind of different disciplines of life.
Totally.
Like Martin is history, Nikolai is psychology, and then there's PE, and then music, like the arts, and they kind of represent a wide array of disciplines. And I think that's an interesting observation.
No STEM lords.
And a little bit about the school. Would psychology? Oh, I guess psychology is not science.
It's on the cusp. It depends. It's a soft science until studied clinically.
Yeah. No, I was just curious. I was like, wait, but
sorry to all the psychology people out there.
Yeah, you're not scientist.
As a man of science,
one
you just
thing
had
to know is that the school is like a high school. We are seeing a senior graduating class, which ends up being, we see the seniors that are going to be graduating, where some of the conflict comes from, because they were the youth that were doing the drinking game. Like, we know that kind of going in, like we see kind of what they look like, and then like when after the meeting they go to their classes, and then it's like, oh hey, those are the kids that we just saw that were just doing the drinking game.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring up the problem that all the freaking teachers are just so boring. It is just a terrible world out there. Have you ever gone to school?
Once or twice.
Oh, I thought you were going to follow that with something. I was like, oh,
Yeah. I was like, oh god,
Your
that's
response.
fun.
Yeah, no, but like that's
yes,
kind
I
of
go to
what
school. Yes,
that's kind of what kicks it everything off, right? Is like
we see a kind of a montage of their teaching. They all seem kind of disaffected, not really focused.
They're complacent.
One
Martin,
thing I do want to say,
Martin is so bad. A kid like leaves class in the middle of it.
yeah, Martin
he doesn't care.
does not care in the beginning.
He's just reading from the book, or
I do want to say, I respect teachers highly.
absolutely.
I've always loved my teachers. I've never, had, issues with any teachers like that I can think of. I think that teachers get a bad rap a lot, especially recently. And I think that that's ridiculous and, quite silly. I've always just loved the job of teaching. I've just thought it was a fantastic profession.
They just got to deal with high school kids, so that sucks. Just dealing with high school
kids, but Mads does need his mojo back. He really does. Martin really needs to get his mojo back because, I will say, in terms of a teacher, he's not engaging.
No, he stinks.
He's also lost at one point because he says one thing, and then the student that leaves is like, weren't we talking about Churchill or something? He's like, oh yeah, you're right.
Totally.
He doesn't even know what's going on.
No.
He starts asleep at the wheel.
And this becomes a problem because then we later have a bit where the parents and some of the students come together and have a meeting with him, and they're like, we need to. This is an important exam they need to pass for this class in order to graduate, and you don't really
see colleges
to be caring about them passing, and he's like, no, I care. I'll do my best. So there's stakes. We've established the stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
his ass.
And then we also see some of his home life. He's not very connected with his wife and his kids.
He has 2 children.
His 2 sons.
Yeah, two sons.
Yeah.
And a wife.
He was supposed to have a daughter.
Yeah,
Did you know about that? Really morbid fact.
Aref, do you want to go into that?
Ida Vinterberg was supposed to be casted as Martin's second kid. It was supposed to be his son and a daughter. Ida Vinterberg is Thomas Vinterberg's daughter, but she unfortunately passed in a car crash shortly before the movie.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's incredibly sad. I couldn't find more details about the car crash, but apparently she told the director a lot of stories about Danish drinking culture, specifically among the youth. So she was a big inspiration. The movie's actually dedicated to her. But yeah,
because apparently, I guess from
fun fact.
Yeah,
not
it's not
fact. Yeah.
Not fun fact, but a fact.
TheTRACcast, not fun fact for you guys.
Certified not fun. Yeah, it's super sad. Yeah, I can imagine some of this movie must have been very hard to make for him, but also probably therapeutic in a way. I don't know.
Wow. That explains a lot too. Just in general, in the movie.
Yeah,
as we'll get into it.
But yeah, so Martin has 2 sons and a wife. And they all...
It's pretty apparent early on that, while the dialogue is, kind of happy between them, it's very oh, how are you doing, whatever, it's so apparent that they are so distant from each other, and...
It's a veneer.
I'm just gonna say it, spoiler alert, I mean, you're listening to the podcast, doesn't matter. I got vibes that the wife was cheating on Martin, that scene, her introduction.
Yeah.
And I wasn't blaming her. I wasn't saying, oh, she's the there's a reason why. I wasn't caring about the reason. I just had that feeling.
And that also even that becomes more apparent on repeat viewings because we never know what she does for work, but she says she works nights and she's constantly going out.
Really not in the movie at all.
She really isn't. And yeah,
one of the more
obviously
important characters that comes in later.
And obviously we learn later that she was cheating on Martin because he was so absent and everything. So yeah, that kind of context and
it's adding more ammo to Martin's life is just not going so well.
Yeah. And then the boys are going out on the town. It's Nikolai's birthday.
And this is we get a scene where boys, fellas, we get to say it just once. Dudes rock.
Dudes rock. We love
women.
We love women. Respect women.
And respect anyone else who's of other, non-identifying, or identifying.
But come on, dudes rock. Dudes rock.
Dudes rock. Any dudes rock. Any dudes rock.
Yeah, they go out and Martin is like, no, I'm driving. Like, I'll just have a soda, and like they're trying to like, come on, like drink with us, bud. Blah, blah, blah.
They do pressure
It's his
him.
birthday. It's Nikolai's birthday.
It's my birthday. You wouldn't not drink with your friend on his birthday.
You couldn't.
That's so fucked up.
And then this is the scene where we get the inciting incident.
What we're about to explain is basically like the general synopsis of the movie. However, it happens in the first 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. This is when they start to break bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
100%.
So then, yeah, they're talking, and then they're talking about drinking because Martin isn't going to drink tonight because he's going to drive. And then Nikolai, who's the psychology teacher, is like, actually, there's this guy who claims, what is he? He's
His name is Finn Skarderud. I don't know how to pronounce that. Skarderud.
Is that a real guy?
Yes, his medical license was taken away, and they were like, he was just unprofessional. And people were like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow, really? But that is a real guy. That
is a real guy. Wait, what's the guy's name one more time?
Finn Skarderud? Or Skarderud?
And Nikolai presents this theory that he has, right?
It's not like an official theory because they never tested it, but it sounded like it was something he said casually, constantly. But people were like, what the fuck?
That humans were born originally with like 0.5 alcohol in their bodies. Like,
yeah, so it's like you can't prove it or something, and then it's just like, I don't know. It's not true.
The more you talk about it, the more it sounds kind of ridiculous, but they present it very factually.
It makes the movie actually funnier now that I know that guy is real and is also like a quack.
He's like a defunct now. I'm pretty sure. It's hard to find. Every article's not in my native tongue, so it's hard to read.
But yeah, they're like, because they I think they even mentioned like, Martin, you're not yourself, man. You got issues.
They even point out that his family life is terrible. They're like, your family life's terrible, your teaching's terrible.
And they used to say that you used to be fun.
Your shoes are whack.
I'm tired of yeah, they really come down on it.
And this is where they devise the plan.
This isn't where they devise the plan.
No, they don't.
Where
you're right.
They bring it up, and then it's this moment where I wrote it down because I didn't notice it the first time. But there's a moment after they talk about the idea that humans are born with 0.05% less BAC in their blood, and if they maintain that throughout the day, then they're kind of where they should be at in terms of like being a well-minded individual and whatever. And it's after that point that there's this great moment, and it's where how the movie does it. It's so good, where it kind of just focuses on Mads' face as he's kind of taking in information and he's thinking about it, and like all the sound goes quiet.
There are multiple scenes like this.
Yeah, and it's just him like thinking, and you just see him drinking, and he does kind of start drinking
music
at that point. And then it kind of
he gets into the party a little bit,
and then it fades back in with just you hear these waiters singing in the background to someone like for their birthday or whatever. And I don't know, that part was just so artistically well done because you can just see like you're in his mind with him like thinking about this and
let you marinate.
Yeah, letting you marinate with it. They just have a good time. It's here that we learn that Martin used to dance. Used to be jazz ballet. And they tease him a bit, and he's like, no, I'm too embarrassed. I'm not going to dance.
And I was fucking good.
He's like, and he was the best. He was the best at what he did.
But we'll get there.
And then they leave, and then this is the part when we were watching it where like dudes rock because they're like in the parking lot like wrestling, and they're like,
yeah, that's right. They're totally doing like frat bro like wrestling in the Chili's parking lot. Like, hey man, like you ate my last chicken finger. Like, what the hell, noogie.
And that really is a great part because it shows you how different the alcohol made them. Like before, they were just like boring,
uptight,
like, uninspired, uptight people, and then and now they're all of a sudden they're like decades younger. Just
they're cool now.
It's almost like alcohol makes
you cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking away from this. Alcohol makes you cool.
It solves all
I just want to
problems.
say, has anyone ever had just a light buzz in the middle of the day around like an 11 a.m. or noon, like on
At
wine
work.
or something? Any one of the boys, come on.
During
Play with
COVID, probably, yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't really drink.
Not even. When was the last time you were wine drunk?
I've never been wine drunk.
Oh, you should be
That's
wine
crazy.
drunk.
No, in Italy. I was wine drunk in
Yeah,
Italy.
totally.
I was about to say, you're in Europe, you piece of shit. There's no way you were not wine drunk in
Wine
Europe.
drunk is so good, and it's even better when the sun is still out. That's all I'm saying.
Wine drunk is it is a different vibe for sure.
I'm just saying. I think that dude had something.
Someone
Wine
cooked
buzz
here.
is sometimes fun. Sometimes. Don't drink.
It hard cuts from them wrestling on the ground, just Martin in the shower, like
We're playing.
hungover. Oh god.
Yeah, hungover.
And then this is where, because they haven't officially said they're going to try it yet, because Martin, the loose cannon that he is, brings a like liquor store bottle of Smirnoff to school, and is like doing shots of it in between lessons.
He started the experiment before they started the experiment. Because doesn't Nikolai notice that he's drunk and then they go to the house and start the experiment?
Yes and no, because I think Tommy was already on it.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that that was. Well, we'll get there. Well,
But I think you're right, Ryan. Yeah, because
no, I totally think Ryan's right.
Because he does some drinking, and he notices, like, I'm a little lighter during this. I'm cracking
The
jokes.
students are a little bit more engaged. He's a little bit more engaged. Yeah,
loosens you up a little bit. And at the end of the day, he's at his car, and Nikolai notices him, and he's like, Nikolai, I can't drive. And he shows him the bottle, and he's like, I tried it, and it worked.
I'm cool now.
And then I like Nikolai's a real bro, because he's like, all right, we got to assemble the boys and figure this out. And then they go to Nikolai's house, and then that's where they devise, like, oh, we're gonna this is the scheme. We're gonna maintain this level of drunkenness.
Yeah, 0.5.
This movie is full of them doing excuses. It's just them, like,
it's them excusing. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
we have to do this.
It's for science. It's we're going to do
it's for science. We're experimenting.
The worst written academic journal of all time.
It is. It's really
True.
bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Which, like, psychology majors. That's all I'm going to say.
What? That's his words. What the fuck?
And even in that scene too, it was great, because they're like, well, like, are we sure this is good? And they're like, well, yeah, like, geniuses like Hemingway, like they
Churchill.
like all the time, and Churchill, and all these great drunks throughout history, not forgetting the fact that Hemingway killed himself and like
Notorious, like, woman beater and piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Christian, that Hemingway is who I called you about, trying to figure out what his name was.
Oh, yeah, you did call me. You were like,
I just
in another round.
Ryan and I were at a party, and you had to be a wizard to attend. Ryan dressed up as a hunter. Anyways, but I was trying to figure out what the fuck Hemingway's name was, and I described him as historical adventurer. The people that I was talking to got so upset about it, because that is not really what Hemingway is. I was like, beard, white guy, historical adventurer. And that's what I called in a friend.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think you're thinking of Mark Twain, because Hemingway is not historical adventure.
No, he had adventures. Anyway, so I called Christian, because I literally said to the party, and this is kind of Christian's role in the podcast too, I was like, who will know exactly what I'm fucking talking about if I were to call him right now? And like 5 people went Christian, and then I called Christian.
Yeah.
And then you called me, and I was in the middle of watching the movie again. Like, it was
hilarious.
It was literal perfect timing. And I was worried when you called, because I was like, oh god, like, is something the matter? Like, no one ever calls me. So I was like,
we need to get over that, fellas. We need to do a phone call.
We do. It's true.
I was told by Alex that that's crazy talk.
A perfect phone call.
That's just a dude thing. Dudes don't really call each other.
Yeah, it's like we call if something's wrong.
We have Discords and podcasts,
See, that was the thing I also told her. I was like, yeah, but I'm talking to you guys like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, we talk weekly.
Yeah, well, daily.
Daily, yeah.
Well,
daily.
maybe not daily. There's some days where the group chat's a little.
The chat's barren.
But anyway, this is where they divide. Okay, we're gonna drink throughout the day, and they make rules. They're like, we're not gonna drink on the weekends, and we hard stop at 8 p.m. every weekday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're only doing it during the work hours because that's what they're trying to enhance.
To improve,
They're trying, they're trying to just make them a little more lively and a little more interested during work.
And then I think it's around after this part, but there was something that I noticed the second time watching, and I don't know if you boys picked up on this too. The person that we get the most time with is Martin.
Yeah,
like in terms of his work and his personal life.
Yeah.
We don't really know a lot about the other guys. We know Tommy is divorced, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Divorced or something happened, and he just lives with his very old dog.
We don't really know too much about Peter at all.
Peter is probably the person we know the least. We know he's single. I think that's
we see his
family.
He wants a family.
We see him at work because, like, we see after they start the experiment, they do show like some montages, and there's a lot of montages in this movie to like convey like time passing. But we do get a little sneak peek of each of the dudes teaching on different levels of alcohol. And the first one we see is all these dudes, and Tommy's teaching the kids.
Well, we first see Tommy not at school. He takes the day off and coaches his soccer team.
Yes.
Yeah, he coaches like a little kid's soccer team. Or
like one thing that I maybe thought was he was like, okay, I'm drinking all the time, so maybe now I could like drink, like keep that level at my soccer practice. Instead, he was just like not doing that in front of the kids, but now he's like, well, everybody's doing it.
Well, and you said earlier, Ryan, that like there's parts of the movie that give away that like perhaps Tommy was doing this a little bit earlier, but like I'd even argue in that intro
than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, pushing the limit already.
100%. And like one of the biggest telltale signs is how Tommy is drinking his drink. He's putting it in a water bottle and making it look like water in front of everybody, but drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is definitely different from how all the other dudes are drinking.
They're at least like he's doing it in plain sight. Everyone else is kind of hiding it.
Yeah, they have plain sight and like big like water glasses.
Also, I mean, like just sheer quantity too. Like he's drinking a whole water bottle of straight liquor.
Yeah, straight vodka. Yeah. And Specs wants a sip, and he tells Specs to pick rocks and go get his teammates.
Oh yeah, Stuart Little's older brothers in this movie.
So Tommy's drinking at the soccer game. Peter, when he's drinking and doing it with the choir kids, he's able to get the choir kids to be like in tune. So you get a little sneak preview of all four of the dudes like drinking like throughout the movie on different like alcohol levels. And in the beginning of the movie, they start at the point 0.5, right? You get a little snapshot of everybody. And like we said, Tommy is drinking from the water bottle at soccer practice. Martin is drinking at work with like a Smirnoff bottle, but he's like keeping it low key, and everyone's really engaged in his class. Like a lot of people are like answering questions. He's being fun and making it fun, which is exciting.
Oh, I was just saying, he starts like integrating like famous drunk people into his lesson.
World leaders.
In the experiment, don't we get a little montage of all the famous world leaders who like might be alcoholics, probably are.
Like drinking on the job.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
And
there's
out of nowhere too. Like they like so out of like tone of the movie, but like they just went for it, which like I love. You get a little montage of all these world leaders who definitely seem like they're on something. So you see Martin, you see Tommy. We don't really see a lot of Nikolai teaching then. Drunk.
Not really. It's mostly like stuff with his home life, and that was something I was going to touch on too. Is that like we don't really get an explanation. We know that he has a wife and he has 3 kids. Yeah. They're all very young, so they're kind of like they're new parents. So there's obviously that stress and stuff. But I remember there's a point where it hard cuts and we see Nikolai, and he's sleeping on the couch with his youngest son is like
his oldest son.
Or his oldest
youngest son is a baby.
That's right. Yeah. It's his oldest son. And he's like sleeping on top of him or whatever. And I didn't really register it at first, but that is a really important kind of imagery of like we don't get told that
tells
they're
everything.
having marital issues, but just him on the couch sleeping, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, there must be some stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's something off.
Well, and then like that little boy pisses on Nikolai while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And then Nikolai is like, what the hell? Wakes up, and then they wake up the baby, which wakes up the mom. They've only had like 20 minutes of sleep or something.
And at the dinner scene, Nikolai brings up that he never gets to sleep alone. And that's like a big like gripe that he has.
Interesting indeed. So we get a little bit of Nikolai, not really at the school drunk, but with his family. And then we do see Peter the music teacher, and he gets his kids to be like on tone, or on note, and engaging with the music. But then Peter kind of has this like subplot in the movie that like kind of like is cascaded through it, like sort of the beginning, middle, and end. And that was an interesting subplot.
Yeah, he meets this kid who like he's struggling in school. I presume he's had to like repeat some grades or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was definitely held back.
And he wants to go to medical school, but he's like, I'm just terrible at tests. I get so nervous, whatever. And Peter is like, no, like he's trying to help him and give him some confidence. And we could touch on this a bit later too when we get near the end of it. But he does kind of encourage him like, oh, have you ever considered doing a shot right before the test or whatever? And that part, in terms of some of the stuff with the movie, is a little weird to me.
It is. It's definitely a little weird.
Because like it shouldn't be painted like it's a good thing, but they never really address it that there's negative consequences to him telling him to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, we can just spoil the movie. Like this subplot, it has to do with like Peter suggesting this kid to drink before taking the test, which has like a spoken portion, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just an interesting tidbit. And he suggests that. And yeah, like at the end of the movie, he even has him like be like, "Oh, drink your water," because like the water has drink in it during the spoken portion, and he drinks it and he passes, and it's good. And that is an interesting thing that you bring up here, because there are no consequences for that sort of behavior. When we do see consequences through the older guys drinking. So do you think that it's like more of like a discussion on the youth, or do you think it's like? Do you think this is just like a one-off little subplot? Like, what do you think it's there for? I bring this to everybody. Sorry, not just Christian.
I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to look at Peter and think that's like it's a good thing. It's probably just there, and then you obviously put your morals on it. Like, why is a teacher telling a student to drink to calm his nerves? Like, it's a little strange.
Well, I mean, this is going to get a little meta, but I mean, Vinterberg is quoted that he's not trying to really impose any judgment on alcohol, but rather show its like usage in life and how it's represented in specifically Danish culture. That's why I think he was just showing how alcoholism can kind of be passed down from like literally teacher to pupil, and how it's like moved through the generations. And I don't think he's trying to impose some kind of negative emotion on it, but I think the intended emotion that you're supposed to get from it, I mean, realistically, is that this isn't a positive thing.
But it's something that is a fact of life that does happen and is generational.
Yeah, but realistically, this kid taking one shot would harm him in that moment. You know what I mean? So it was probably just like a direct reflection, like, hey, this is how alcohol is
and it's
shown.
A slope.
And
a little bit.
In Denmark. And it is a slippery slope. It is a negative thing, but I don't think that he was trying to impose a message onto it beyond just the realisms of the situation. And, you know, watchers should look at that and be pretty questioning of the morals of it, regardless of direct consequences that might have been, that could have been depicted.
Well, and look at the beginning of the movie. Like, when they start the experiment, everything is awesome. Like things are good in every facet. Awesome. Like, isn't Martin like having sex with his wife when he's like on the 0.5 alcohol
on the camping trip?
On the camping trip.
That's when they
to his wife now.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they increase it too. I think they
do increase it.
It's going good, and then
Skylar and the Aztec.
It's so funny.
And then,
Oh my god.
yeah, but that's where we can kind of, that's a good transition point. Yeah, they do this and it's going good. It's working out.
It's going good. Like they do the 0.5 alcohol thing, and it's fine for a little while.
And then this is kind of connecting to what you were implying earlier, Ryan, about like Tommy probably having hid his drinking for a while on this,
on the down low for sure. But now he has more of a leash because he's got companions.
Because there's a gym, like storage area, and a worker at the school is with Tommy, and he's like, "Hey, Tommy, like, look at this," and he finds like it's like a comical amount of liquor bottles that he's
multiple scotch and just different types of alcohol that are half drinking.
Yeah,
obviously taken out, and it's technically day 1, day 2.
It's at max maybe been a week, but let's say it's been like a few days. Yeah, like a few days or a day. It definitely not enough to do all that and just be 0.05. But yeah, so then that's when the school staff is like, "Well, what's going on here?" And they kind of chalk it up like, "Oh, it's just students or whatever."
To the kids,
and they get away with it. And then that's when Martin, even though Peter is kind of worried, like, "Oh my god, like they almost caught us, like we shouldn't do this anymore." Martin's like, "No, I want to up it. We got to go further."
Like, we got to push the limit. Oh yeah, the cool meeting they had in the music room.
Don't things get even better on point or like on one alcohol point or 1%?
Everything's better. Yes, it's so much
crazy. Yeah, everything just gets awesome. That's when they increase it, and that's when Martin touches his wife.
Yeah,
again,
they go on a trip. They go on a trip, and they're having a great time. And a lot of the movie is just kind of sequences of like their lives improving by doing this stuff and being more open with people.
And that's the whole thing, is like the tone of it in the beginning is very much like, this is great, just like alcohol, it really is. Like, I mean, to sum it up, this movie is like, the alcohol experience all in one.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just, they excuse it more like, no, there's great people that are out that are we're going to be like them. But yeah, like there's a great scene where Tommy is he's coaching the little kids, and Specs, who's like the football nerd,
run of the litter.
He scores the goal, and everyone's like, like Specs, our boy Specs.
The gang is watching,
and the teachers are there watching it, and they freak out. They're like, yes.
Yeah, they're happy for him.
Yes, let's fucking go.
Very Grown-Ups vibes. Have you ever seen Grown-Ups?
A little bit.
It's very like have you ever seen Grown-Ups? The relationship these guys have, it's kind of similar.
Because when they're that level of drunk, it's like they're man children, basically.
Yeah, literally.
It's like they
can be themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So then, and I remember there's a great line I wrote down that I think ties into the movie at the very end very well. There's a line I think that Tommy says, maybe it's around this part. It's after the game or something. They're talking, and they're talking about the kids and how they're like, oh, they're so great and everything, and we're teaching better. And Tommy says something to the effect of the kids, they're just gonna forget us as soon as they get out that door. We're just here to get them through school, and then they go on and do their lives. And it's kind of this kind of sad way of looking at it.
Yeah, and they're like, I forgot every teacher I ever had. They're gonna forget us as soon as they walk through those doors.
Yeah, and that's kind of Tommy's perspective, because we get little glimpses into his life through those kind of bits, and you can definitely tell he's a very lonely, kind of sad person that they don't really notice or talk about. So yeah, then they go on then Mads and the wife and their kids go on the trip. It's when his wife and he can really connect for the first time in a long time, and they're like, "Oh, I missed you," and all this stuff.
He says, "I'm glad you're back.
Glad to have you back, champ."
Glad to have you back, champ.
So yeah, and then this is where
probably one of the best scenes. One of the best dance scenes.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So then they go to Nikolai's house.
House on the coast, because his wife comes from a wealthy family, he said.
Yeah, they have a nice house too.
Yeah, nice stereo system. They're in Copenhagen, so they got nice furniture and nice stereo equipment.
So they meet up. Nikolai is like, all right, boys, like, I think we could take this over the top. We can go past. He says like ignition or something, or it's like be just blackout, like just like plastered drunk, and see how that affects us. And then that's when Martin is like, no, you know what, I'm out. I gotta focus on my family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm at the place I need to be. I don't need to do this anymore. And they're like, okay. And Nikolai and them, they make a cocktail. What was the name of the cocktail? Does anyone remember?
I can't remember the name, but it's
gosh.
made by a jazz musician.
It had absinthe in it. I remember that.
And something else.
It was like an
Bitters.
S something.
Yeah, S something.
Oh, Sazerac. That was the name.
Azrac.
Which is like, it's got like absinthe and like it's a hard drink.
And something I just want to say for the record, by the way, this entire time through the movie, the whole rule has been like, you're not supposed to be drinking after school hours, like after the 9 to 5. But Martin has been drinking the whole time.
Yeah, 2 sheets to the wind. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's not a hard rule that they're following.
It's not a hard, like he was at point 1 probably before they.
And this is like a weekend or something that they're all hanging out. And then the wife and Nikolai's wife and the kids are like, they're leaving and they're like, all right, you guys have fun. Like, just remember to get the cod and
fresh cod.
All this, the fresh cod. Got to get the fresh cod. So then they make the Sazerac and they're like, all right, bye, Martin. Suit yourself. We're gonna have a good time. And there's all these beauty shots of the drinks as they're making them, and you can see Martin like staring at it, like that looks really good. That looks really good.
Yeah.
All 3 of them, Peter, Tommy, and Nikolai, are all collaboratively making it.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin's off, just distant, not with them, like on the other side of the room, watching them do this as he's like, all right, bye, I'm leaving, bye. And they're like, all right, see you later, bye, later. He feels left out.
And then he's like, and then he kind of just comes in and like is like, I'll have a sip, and he takes a sip, and that's it. That's all you need to know. And then they have a great, again, dudes rock little dance scene.
Oh, the dancing in the scenes, it's perfect with the music. The music they play, a couple of them bangers. This one was a banger.
Yeah, there's a lot of great music in this movie.
Yeah, I think so. The music is awesome.
But yeah, that scene in particular was like just pure like, yeah, we're just gonna get drunk and hang out and listen to music and tunes.
Ugh, what a fantastic time. Just what I want to do. Seems like a nice time. Like I said, man, a nice wine buzz is pretty good.
But they get pretty fucked up. And also important note in this scene, because it's immediately followed by them going against it, is Nikolai is writing in their
Excel spreadsheet.
We're gonna test out being just blackout drunk, like
24/7,
and we're going to stay in the house to avoid any danger to ourselves or other people. Immediate cut to them stumbling around a store looking for cod.
Because they gotta get the fresh cod.
And then like it's kind of funny, but it's also like really pathetic and sad, this whole sequence.
Fellas, I forgot to mention, isn't it like also Christmas?
I think I don't
or New Year's or something? Isn't like a holiday? Or it's close to a holiday?
Maybe?
I don't remember.
They're blackout drunk in the grocery store looking for the fresh cod. Just for the store guy to tell Nikolai that there is no fresh cod. They're all sold out for the day.
We're all out. So then they
So then another hard cut and they're fishing.
They're fishing at the dock.
Fishing.
Yeah, they're throwing the
so
dorks.
funny.
When you see Martin, I think he's like stabbing the end of the net into the water. Like, I'll stab it. I'll catch a crab and use the crab to catch cod. And then Nikolai, who is supposed to be getting the cod, is at the car across the way, and he's like, I'm bored. Let's go drink. Like, we'll
Let's get out of here.
Hard cut. They're at a bar.
They're at a bar, and they're so obnoxious. They're being so horrible. They're just yelling. Peter does not have his clothes anymore.
Peter just loses all his clothes, And they're like so belligerent in the bar. They get all the people to like sing and stuff like that, but like they get kicked out for like dancing on tables and stuff. Martin's dancing, which is
Tommy sneaks out some booze when Peter's trying to divert.
Scene where they're sneaking out booze together and like distracting. They're like, oh, look over there, look at me.
It's not around Christmas because Peter tries to order a Christmas drink, and the bartender's like, "It's not Christmas. That's That's like a Christmas time drink. You can't. We don't serve that." And he's like, "No," and then tries to or just distract her.
Regardless, then they get kicked out of the bar. They sneak booze out. And they're walking through the streets, drinking.
And then we see Nikolai go home, and he crawls into bed up the stairs. Ironically, he pisses the bed because he's so drunk.
Yep, he pisses the bed, and his wife gets so pissed. I mean, granted, as she should.
He's like,
to be fair.
You're a drunk. You're no good. And then we see, kind of like the next kind of early morning, we see Martin, like, in the driveway, like, with a bloody, like, like an injury on his head.
Right. Yes, that's right.
It's like next to the door on the walkway.
Because they were all supposed to go home, and they were all blackout drunk. Nikolai made it home. The other two we know made it home, but Martin,
he was in the neighbor's driveway, and then the son, unfortunately has to come out and be like, "Dad, no, like this isn't our house. Come in."
Dad.
Really, really upsetting scene, to be honest.
Embarrassing.
Later, for they're having dinner. And then this is kind of like the big kind of breakdown moment where they're having dinner. Martin's wife admits that she's cheating, and they also know. They also say that they basically knew that he was drunk the whole time. Like they knew, but they didn't really say anything. But they knew he was like hiding booze and drinking the entire time. And they call him out on it, and then he gets mad and he like smashes all the stuff on the table because she's cheating.
He gets really pissed.
As you do.
Don't do that.
Not really.
Don't do that.
No.
It's fucked up.
So
if spouse cheats on you, just leave him.
Certified. That's a certified TRACcast. It's after this that they resolve. Okay, we're not doing this anymore. That's what it was. Like they all.
Yeah, because they all got way too drunk and they couldn't handle it. They got kicked out of places, and Martin's wife is on the leaves. We don't really know what's going on with Peter.
He's a single guy. We don't know. We don't need to check on him.
And Nikolai's.
I guess the only reason that we could see or feasibly understand that Peter would be like, because obviously he'd be a mess when he got home or whatever, but like he always seemed to be the most nervous about it to begin with. So I could see why he would be like.
Yeah. He was always the more responsible one of all four of them.
Besides the pawning alcohol onto students.
Okay, we're canceling this project. We're not going to drink anymore.
Now that you say that, that's such an interesting point. Like, he's so nervous about it, yet he, like, casually doles it out.
Maybe because he's so, like, maybe he himself is lonely or has dealt with anxiety, and he's can kind of relate.
Do you think it has something to do with, like, his music, like, profession? Like, because all of them kind of have like their profession or like something like that kind of influences.
It's possible.
Alcohol a little bit.
Then they resolve to not drink anymore.
I don't know.
Which is a rule 3 of them follow, except for Tommy, because the next day, at probably the worst time for him to come in like this, the teachers, go on.
I want to say, okay, this scene is a very good example of how this movie makes not good situations really, really funny. The teachers gather together in the morning and they say there's a huge drinking problem happening at the school. Like, and all 3 of the dudes are freaking out. They're like, uh-oh, like, Nikolai, Martin, and Peter are all freaking out and looking at each other like, uh-oh, they're talking about us. They're going to know that, like, the jig is up. Like, they found out.
And then our hero.
And then, like, almost comedically, like, stumble in and be like, oh, and then, like, because it's literally that scene from the Tim Robinson sketch was like, who could have done that, And it, like, puts the spotlight on... It's dark in contrast. It's super dark. It's 100% dark. But, like, it all goes to show that, like, Tommy definitely probably had more going on than like the other dudes, because he obviously couldn't stop when they did.
And it keeps cutting to the other three's faces while he's like stumbling, and you hear him knocking into shit and like moving furniture and stumbling around and like trying to like talk and just like communicate, like cover for himself. And it's really awkward and it's really quiet, and you just sit in it.
It's
Feels
so
like you're there.
cringy.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's really you're in the moment of like watching Tommy stumble through and just like kind of out himself as the person that everyone's looking for in terms of the drunk teacher, and it's you get the embarrassment like in that moment, like just like the son of Martin did, but like not viewing it, like you feel it with Tommy because you've been with these dudes. The viewer's always been the fifth member of the group viewing from the outside. So I mean, it's a tragic moment, but like baked in this like weird comedic light. It's interesting, the dichotomy of this movie. That's my.
And then after that scene, we see Martin taking Tommy home, and through the dialogue, we can imply that Tommy was fired because of this incident, and Tommy passes out. And then, meanwhile, Martin takes it upon himself to clean up and feed the dog, and clean. And we see like beer bottles and liquor
everywhere.
Yeah, like unhealthily amount. He's living by himself. He's a divorcee, or is he widowed? I can't remember.
It's one of the other. I feel like maybe some dialogue implied it was divorced, but I could be wrong.
He had a SO and no longer has.
I didn't notice that. I should have noticed, but I didn't.
I'm almost positive.
I should have checked his fingers.
I know personally a dude who is divorced who still wears their wedding ring. Also a teacher and an alcoholic.
Whoa!
What a quinky dick.
What is
It's real.
You're telling me another round is
documentary.
And then Tommy wakes up and is like, "Oh, you cleaned up. Thank you. Like, oh, why don't you stay for dinner? We'll have a beer." And Mads keeps having to be like, "Tommy, no, like we don't need to."
He's like, "No,
let's just have dinner." And he's like, "Oh, of course." And in this scene, I hadn't noticed it before too, but on the second watch, I made note. I think a kind of unspoken thing that makes the movie all that more tragic is that this was the whole experiment that Tommy was doing with the three of them was probably the most fun thing Tommy had going on in his life, because I noticed in the background you can see his fridge, like there's like nothing on it. There's a picture of his dog and like a couple papers or something. Like a fridge is typically what you would put pictures of family on or events or upcoming things you're going to be doing, and you can tell that just shows how kind of like sparse and empty his life is, and it makes it all sad.
Ooh, dude, that shit that gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's a good detail.
This is why Tommy was probably so excited about this, is because he's like, I can do this with my friends and like I'm having a blast. Like, but obviously it's not sustainable. But it was filling a void in his life that he had or has. We had a not so fun fact, and now we have a depressing fact. Depressing TRACcast fact.
A certified TRACcast depressing fact.
And then also kind of similarly depressing following this is when Martin's like, all right, I'm gonna go home or whatever, or go wherever he's
gonna go do single man things.
He and his wife are not together, they're separated or something, Martin and his wife. And Tommy kind of gives this final kind of like little mini pep talk to him where he's like, I'm rooting for you regardless. I think you and Annika deserve to be together, and I'm rooting for you regardless. And it's very sad. It's very sad. And then we get a kind of a flash forward. We see Martin trying to talk to his wife after they've separated. He wants to get together again, but she's like, I can't do it, blah blah.
This is the dinner scene, right? Where
it's like they meet at like in the evening.
And it's like all cards on the table. Like,
and then it's here we kind of get some kind of flash, it's kind of like a montage of things. We see the student doing his final kind of exam question to Peter, and Peter gives him a shot of liquor. Yep. Kind of gives him some liquid courage. but he nails it.
Mike's secret stuff.
And he touches on some like Kierkegaard philosophy that is very on the nose with the themes of the film. And then we get like a montage of the students graduating. Like they get these little caps when they graduate or something, and they're like, "Yeah, did it," blah, blah, blah. And they're drinking. And then in between that, we see Tommy getting on like his boat, because he has a boat. He gets on his boat with his dog. They make it a note, to show that he struggles to put his life preserver on, and then does screw it. As soon as he did that, obviously this is not going to end well. Like they showed that for a reason, and I kind of like how they did it. They don't
you don't see anything
focus on it or anything.
Them going off into the water on the boat.
You see him in the boat on the water, and then you can see him kind of bobbing back and forth. And then it cuts to some students or whatever, and then it cuts back, and you just see the dog on the boat. You don't see Tommy. And you're like, oh,
it was rocking. The boat was rocking,
and the water is choppy too, so he could definitely have tumbled.
We see the teacher. We see Martin and Peter, and they're with the graduating kids outside, and they're like, oh, it's a great time. And then Nikolai comes out and kind of whispers something to Martin, and I guess presumably that's oh no, they just found Tommy drowned or something. And then we cut again to probably a little bit after this. They're at the funeral. They're at Tommy's funeral.
And Specs is there. It was so sad.
When Specs and the kids start singing the Denmark national anthem or something.
Yeah. It's so sad.
Yeah, he would make them sing it before practice.
Dudes rock.
I got a teary. I did.
It's sad. It's okay to cry.
He's going to look through his soccer players. He got what he wanted.
And that part is also so tragic because, like, you can tell Tommy is like someone that didn't think he had anything,
which is completely the opposite
for or whatever. Like you could see the impact he had with his students and everything. It's so tragic.
Who said this was a comedy?
Who said this was a comedy?
It is. I think so.
No,
I still think this movie is a comedy.
What are they watching over there?
And then Martin, Nikolai, and Peter go out and they toast. They toast to the life of their good friend Tommy, and that part was cool to me too because it kind of intersperses between the kids like graduating and celebrating, and they're throwing champagne everywhere. They're like, yeah, blah, blah. And it cuts to the adults, toasting with alcohol to their friend, and kind of the differences of alcohol being used to celebrate and also to mourn.
This movie, I mean, like, just in terms of like movie quality and techniques, like cinematography, this movie's got it all. You're going to be engaged.
It's beautiful. And then it's kind of funny, but like after they leave, they're like, well, now what do we do? Like, what would Tommy want to do?
They go to the kids' graduation, right? Or does that happen later?
Go to a restaurant, and then the bus that they're on happens to drive by the dock or whatever. But yeah, then this is kind of where we see a peek into their lives now. I think Nikolai's family life is getting better. Peter has a girlfriend. Ooh,
got a girlfriend. Doesn't this also happen like right after they take another drink?
No longer alcohol?
Like in sequence of the movie, they take another drink of alcohol, and then it's like all the good things are happening.
Yeah,
which is quite funny.
And then this is where we get Mads Mikkelsen starts getting texts from his wife that are saying like, "Hey, I miss you. I want to basically like I want to get together again or out." And he says,
"Yeah, to make this work."
He says something so heart wrenching. He's like, "I think Tommy is rooting for us." And I'm like, "Oh, and then we get
one of the most iconic scenes. It's such a great scene.
Oh, it's such a good ending. Dude.
If you've been on the internet, you may have seen it, but you may have seen a nice little GIF, perhaps, of a dancing Mads Mikkelsen, famous Dutch actor who's blonde. And we get a really, really awesome, I guess, like, dance sequence is the best way I can describe it, where this song starts and Martin starts busting out the jazz ballet and his friends are all there. All the students are there, and like they're like celebrating him because like they also have him to thank. Like all of those students that are like celebrating and like busted in on the restaurant, like those are their students. Another thing about this movie being generational and like about teaching in a way, there's a lot of themes to glean from this movie, and we get this really, really awesome sequence of Mads just like dancing for like a solid like maybe 2 minutes.
There is like a theme that starts in the dinner scene when they're talking about Martin's like love for jazz ballet, and he's like, "Oh, I was good at it, but like I just stopped." And I think it's Tommy gets up and he like tries to get him to dance. He's like, "Why not dance? Like they've already started drinking," and he says, "No, like I don't want to." And then later, they are dancing when they're making a super concoction with the spherical light, and the three are dancing, and Martin is not.
He's the only one. He's the only one not doing it.
Mm-hmm. And then at the bar when they're drinking later on, and Martin's standing on like the divider of the booths, everybody's chanting dance, and he's like, "I'll dance for you," but then he does a trust fall. But then at the end, no one's pressuring him. He dances.
Oh, he's
finally found balance.
Goes through it all.
Mads Mikkelsen is a classically trained dancer too,
and his dancing is, very like, it's like free form. It's very wavy.
He's a dancer first, or was a dancer first. He's probably doing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a fun fact.
That's it, and that's a TRACcast certified fun fact. You can tell that one.
That's kind of the final, and that also kind of directly goes against Tommy's assertion earlier in the film when he's like, "They're just going to forget about us," because he's like, "No, like they're all here," and they're like, "Yeah, teach, do it!" Like they're hyping him up. And the movie ends, I think, on a really kind of brilliant, kind of frame of where he revs up and he runs toward the dock, and you just see him, like arms wide open, like jumping off of the dock, and it just freeze frames on that of him in the air. I feel like it could be read a lot of different ways. I feel like it could be, you could see him like, looks like he's like flying, like he's gonna go up and higher, and like in terms of
like the whale,
like like Brendan Fraser's whale, or he's gonna just drop into the ocean, and kind of sink maybe into another kind of rut of the alcohol abuse. And I don't know, I feel like you can kind of read it a lot of different ways depending on your relationship to alcohol and what you think. I like that it's kind of open-ended like that.
I think there's also a perspective that you can explore. Kind of what we talked about like, the role of alcohol in our society, like especially like just like this movie has ups and downs. It has ups when it has ups in the scenes that are downs, and has downs in the scenes that are ups, and it like, I don't know, like alcohol has always been something that has been on the earth and has always been, talked about in societies, like from the very beginning. Historically, it's always had a role.
Animals try to do it. They let fruit overripe and they can tell, like monkeys do. Bats, I think, too. Elephants are big-brained. Whales do whippets. It's just nature.
But literally, like whales do whippets. Like, and that is like, this movie's fascinating, and there's so many like ways that you can, take a slice of the pie. And I'm just very happy that like more people have watched it. Because this was kind of like a 2020, under the radar. I know it was talked about a lot, like around Oscar buzz. Did it win? I think it won. No, did it win the Oscar?
It won, I think, for Best International Feature, I think.
I think it did, yeah. So, like, it got justice in the end,
and
sure.
He was nominated for Best Director, I think, but he didn't win.
Okay. So, like, it definitely did get Oscar buzz. But that's the thing. Like, I think it got a lot of Oscar buzz, but, like, I don't think anyone, like, watched it. Like, no one was like, oh, like, I remember another round, And even, like, nowadays, like, I don't hear people talking about it, when I think that like this movie maybe will have an influence on people, going in the future. And circling back to, our intro, I want to talk about this for a second. Shortly after this movie came out, there was breaking news that Chris Rock is writing and directing or producing. He's involved in the production of a American remake of Another Round. This like came like 1 year after the movie came out. And I want to know what you guys think about that. I want to hear your thoughts about a Chris Rock adaptation of Another Round,
which allegedly might star Leonardo DiCaprio, I think, is what I read.
Perhaps.
I think it's unnecessary. I think this movie's great as it is. I honestly don't know. Like, I mean, there could maybe be an angle of going at it from an American culture perspective.
Yeah.
But I mean, just knowing how American remakes tend to go with like really great foreign movies, I really don't think they're going to get the picture. And I feel like it's just going to be kind of an unnecessary feature, I think, in my opinion. I could be wrong and it could be great, but I don't know.
I mean, if they go into like frat culture, I think that would be kind of interesting, specifically college age stuff, and it's like a genuine take on the concept.
That's exactly, yes.
I think it's fine, but a remake I don't think is necessary. Like a remake, but but this is a story that could be told like anywhere.
My big thing is that if the movie has something to say about American drinking culture, kind of like what you talked about, Christian, and you added, like, I would be interested in perhaps that, but like, it also has to be the right tone too. Like, it can't be drinking comedy or like, kind of, it can't be like, I don't know how else to put it, but like those mid 2000s, like, movies that are like comedy focused. What exactly and like what it looks like. I'm skeptical. I'm definitely skeptical. I think the only way it'll win me over is, like you guys said, is if it has something to say about American drinking culture.
Because
like this
what
movie
has Chris Rock directed? He's directed a movie called Top 5, which is a comedy movie. A couple episodes of Everybody Hates Chris, and then this movie called I Think I Love My Wife, which looks like a standard 2000s I Hate My Wife.
Top 5, I think I've heard was actually like pretty good from my understanding. That's what I heard.
I do gotta say though, like I'm also with the opinion that like this movie is really good. Like there's no reason to like do it. Like you can watch it and still like translate it to American culture too. Like it's not like
it's pretty generic. It's not super culture heavy. I mean, it's the only big cultural part is like the kids and their celebratory for graduation, but that was kind of just inspiration for the main characters and how they cope with everything. So it's pretty generic, but I do think if they focused it more to American culture or to whatever culture they want to put it in, you can get more out of it for your audience. But it doesn't feel necessary. I don't know. I'll hold my tongue. I don't have an opinion on either way if it's gonna be good or bad.
Right, we can't make an opinion on something we don't know what it is yet. So
we just got it.
But when it comes out, we'll be very opinionated.
We'll watch it.
Yeah, when it comes out, the TRACcast will be there to say something about it. You need to hear four dudes' opinion about a movie. You have to.
No other option.
I am curious if they're gonna go with the more original title. What is it, like Dirk or something? Drook, which is like it's much more aligned with the binge drinking aspect. Like it's similar to the euphemism Another Round, but Another Round's more celebratory, while Drook is, from what I've read, is more binging, there's more of a negative connotation with it.
Ah, interesting. So maybe they perhaps changed the movie to just like, if you look up this movie, like you don't get anything other than teachers decide to drink to increase their school life. It's a dramedy, and Mads Mikkelsen looks like he's at a party on the cover. Off the bat, you're like, okay, like this could be like a comedy. I'm the dude who brought the movie to the table. Gonna be the first to say that I really like this movie. I'm gonna be the first one to say that.
Controversial.
I know. I mentioned earlier, I think I'm always down for dramedy. Dramedies are probably one of my favorite genres, just because I like, seeing the two things clash a lot, because I think that reflects a lot of our real life. Love the themes of this movie. I love the acting in this movie. I love the four dude ensemble, the Mads Mikkelsen leading role, and the overall filmmaking, like with a, like literal 1 minute montage of world leaders throughout history that have been captured probably on one. So,
Oh,
yeah,
fucking funny.
I give this movie a 9 out of 10. And that's because like I think it's just a fantastic movie. It doesn't scratch like the 10 out of 10 itch for me, but overall I just think it's a good time and I highly recommend it. And please, 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 if you're listening to this in the future, watch this before you watch the Chris Rock version if that's out. Ryan?
Well, I enjoyed this movie. Loved watching it a second time. I think to really get it, you need to watch it a second time. Maybe parts that you already like read and you're kind of up to speed, you could watch the characters. If you don't like reading movies, as people say, just get over it, I guess. It's fine.
True. Literally
Yeah.
true.
Like, it's a good movie. The story's good. It's fun. The movie really lets you sit at times. Like at the beginning of the dinner scene, it's just music and he's watching the fore and then watching the back. And then there's a scene where they're in the music room and they're listening to music after they discuss, like, all right, we need to be, on tip-top shape. We need to be on this. And then there's just other parts throughout the movie where it really slows down. That's a big, like, plus for me. Please watch it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Thanks, Brian. It's kind of hard to judge this movie because it doesn't make you feel good, and I like movies that make me feel good. But this movie taps into a realism that I don't think is portrayed. At least it's not often portrayed, just because of the difficulty to achieve this realism. These characters feel real, the events feel real, everything seems plausible, but it's still dramatized and it's still made to be funny in a way that's entertaining, and that's not an easy thing to achieve in the slightest. And that's done with exceptional acting, exceptional directing, exceptional storytelling, exceptional dialogue. I mean, it's just down the line like a textbook grade A movie. And I think it really exhibits some of my opinions about drinking. Two phrases come to mind specifically. Number one is drinking like this is borrowing tomorrow's happiness. And number two is drug use puts a window on a door that could have been opened. And I think that's expertly shown shown in a way that's not demonizing of alcohol, but is telling a very cautionary tale for alcohol, as humans' number one most overconsumed substance. Coming from a background in which I've been around substance abuse pretty frequently, I think it's an important message to show. It's not a darification for non-American listeners or people who don't know about dare. It's not like inherently demonizing the substance, like the dare program has done. If you don't know about, look into it. But it is telling a cautionary tale, and I think that is done incredibly well. Combine that with the story that's super entertaining for the reasons I mentioned before, I would have to give this a 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
What? I'm gonna give this a 0. No, I'm kidding. No, I loved this movie. I loved it the first time we watched it, and I loved it even more the second time I watched it. Pretty much echoing a lot of what my previous podcaster associates have said. I think it's better on second viewings. You see a lot more of the themes kind of shine through, and I think it brings up a lot of interesting questions about alcohol that you might have yourself. And I think it doesn't demonize it. It just kind of presents it as is and shows kind of the bright spots of both camaraderie and celebration and honoring people, while also showing the detrimental effects when abused or used to kind of mask problems that you don't want to confront. And so I think for those reasons, and the acting all around, the directing, the writing, everything is just on point. I'm going to have to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for watching this awesome movie with me and having a good time with it. And I want to thank our viewers at home for listening to another episode of today's review of Assorted Cinema, otherwise known as the TRACcast. Please give us a like, a follow, a rate, a comment if you can, an email, whatever you want to do to engage with us. We'd love, to know that there's people out there who like what we're doing, want to hear, about movies, and maybe even want to hear, other ideas about what else we could do to kind of make this more of a variety hour here and there. So thank you for listening to another episode. Tune in next time for when we watch top 10 moments of Breaking Bad.
He put the pizza. The pizza's on the roof. The pizza's on the roof.
The pizza's on the roof.
There's a gate in front of that house, right?
And this has been a sneak preview of the next episode. Word of the wise, don't play Baldur's Gate 3 and then Cyberpunk in quick succession. It's a lot of gameplay. It's too much.
It's too much game for one man to handle.